evening, beloveds, because it is evening. I told you it'd be 9 p.m. It's actually 9:30, because it was a little around 9 o'clock. It was a little after 9 o'clock when I went, oh, I gotta go do this. So here I am. It was Heroes and Villains weekend out at Fair. And we weren't as busy as we were for Pirates weekends. We actually ended up getting to do a fair amount of people watching, and some of the outfits were pretty interesting in a lot of different ways, because, depending on how you shade that word, it could mean a whole lot of different things. All right. I was cosplaying a variant of Loki who is no longer a villain, but not exactly a hero. And I was playing the Sylvie variant, and she's definitely a villain. But she's a hero in her own story, right? Okay. It is November 5th. Our title is True Service. And the first quote is, for even the child of people came not to be ministered unto, but to minister. Mark 10:45. Sometimes they don't gender neutral well. The second quote is, we are surrounded by a spirit of living intelligence and eternal givingness, love, goodness, and power that wishes to express itself through us. And that is The Science of Mind, page 469. All right. A friend brought me a box of oranges from his orchard. It meant driving across the city, as well as the trouble of bringing them from the valley where his orchard is situated. I wanted you to have them. They are very good this season. What he was giving me was not only delicious fruit, but also his thought, friendliness, kindness, generosity. These are great gifts, the true service. True worship is outgoingness towards God. True service is outgoingness towards other people. Service is not some dramatic presentation of charity. No. We are to serve in 1,000 subtle ways. It is a sharing of a child's glee as they play with their toy. It is the hand clasp above which the eyes meet in true friendship. It is the calmness in the presence of another's chaos. It is the graciousness in the pressure of the office routine. Patience under pressure, compassion in the presence of tragedy and sorrow. Service is your soul at work in the soil of the human garden, bringing into being flowers and fruits on which the souls of others can live and grow. What greater service than to give a bit of color to another's drab life, or to bring a word of compassion and truth to one who has covered his ears with cynicism and bitterness, or to go to the second mile, or to forgive until the 70 times are long past. True service is a service to the soul, by the soul, and for the soul. It is spirit giving of itself. Today, I give all that is needed where it is needed, because in divine love there is abundant supply.
Surprise!
I live in joy, understanding, patience, peace, calmness, and compassion, and thus serve everyone I meet and work with. In God, my needs are supplied. In God, I serve my fellow people. And that is OWJ, which is Oswald Jefferson, which I don't think we had Oswald Jefferson before. So that's interesting. And I'm really taken with the idea of true service being the flowers and fruits on which others' souls are nourished and can grow. I love that idea. And I love that he says 1,000 subtle ways. Because it's not, true service is not, as he said, the big, It's the little. It's the little things we do for each other that bolster each other's souls, that bolster each other's spirit, that that supports the heart. That he mentioned the child's glee. Oh, completely forgot I had this on. The oh, so all those little things that we do all the time, and you don't think about them, but when peace in, being peaceful in chaotic in the midst of another's chaos, and frequently it's when things are going wrong for another person and there's nothing that you can do about it. You can't fix whatever has malfunctioned in their life. But what you can do is be that soft place to fall. You can be that listening ear. You can be that listening heart. That's true service. That is true service. And I think people discount how important that listening heart is. And generally it costs us nothing but a little bit of time. And it's one of the things that I love about my job is when we get people in and they may come in to buy something, but sometimes they just need somebody to hear them. Whatever it is, whatever story it is that they want to tell, and sometimes they're happy stories and sometimes they're not so happy stories, and there's nothing I can do about whatever situation they're talking about other than, know the highest and best for them. But the fact that they had somebody who truly heard their story, it is one of the greatest acts of service that we can do for each other. And like I said, it costs us nothing but a little bit of time. And that is it. And that is true service. And those are the things that we can do to help each other's souls grow. And it was one of the things that it's kind of fun. One of the reasons why I enjoy Halloween out at the Renaissance Festival is, the little kids trick-or-treating. Because being a part of a child's joy, being a part of a child's gleeful laughter, whatever it is, I enjoy engaging the smaller children about their costumes out at fair. And, there was a little girl running around in a princess carrying a corgi. And so, I talked to her about the name of her corgi and, she was shy, but she was interested. And, and then, what? I love waving at babies. I love waving at babies. Little, when they're small enough in the stroller and they're just staring at everything. I love waving at babies, especially when then they wave back or they grin. That's interestingly enough, that is true service. Those are the 1,000 subtle ways that we are of service to each other all the time. You may not think that you are of service to your fellow, beings, but you are. It's the little things that we do like that. Like waving at babies and, talking to small children and listening to people, truly listening to them and hearing their little stories. And those are the things that we can do that are true service, that support loving hearts and kindness and compassion and gentleness and all of that. It's a part of it. It's a part of it. And that's what I love. True service isn't some big thing. It isn't. It's all the little things that we do. It's all the little things that we do. So when I talk about, Emma and when about opening the windows of our soul, and I say, take in Emma's advice, look for the good and praise it. It's those little goods that I like so much. Those 1,000 subtle ways that we serve each other. And we may not even necessarily be aware that is service to humanity. It's service to life. It's service to love. And that's the true service. Now, don't get me wrong. The big acts of service are amazing and wonderful. And yeah, that's great and fantastic. But it's the little things. And that's a quote from the Lord of the Rings series. I don't remember which one about, and it's Gandalf that says it. He says, You know, it's not the big acts that save us. It's the little ones. It's the little ones. It's the the little people who go on being kind to each other all the time, no matter what's going on. So, yeah, great heroes come around every once in a while, and great evils, Lord of the Rings, come around once in a while. But it's the everyday people being kind to each other that saves the world every time. Every time. So those are the true acts of service. I don't know about the mission. Because I mean that is the mission. But I'm going to go back and reiterate what he calls. It's sharing in a child's glee as they play with their toy. It is the hand clasp above which eyes meet in true friendship. And that was one of those things. We're halfway through the season, and I have a very dear friend that works out there that I haven't seen because he's been busy and we've been busy, and so my husband actually did walk across and talk to him for a minute, and he turned up in my booth, and I don't know how long he had been patiently waiting for me to notice him. And as soon as I did, I mean, I kind of lit up and called him my love and hugged him and told him I was going to come see him next Sunday. Actually, I was going to be in his workplace next Sunday, and it was just in that moment. And then I had to go back to what I was doing. But in that moment, I lit up because he had come over to see me. It was, and that's an act of service. That's an act of service that he did for me by coming into my place of work, to say hello, and then waiting, because he had a job to do. So it is the calmness in the presence of another's chaos, that soft place to fall. It is the graciousness in the pressure of the office routine, patience under pressure, compassion in the presence of tragedy and sorrow. And every one of those things are things that all of us are capable of doing. All of us are capable of doing. Service is your soul at work in the soil of the human garden, bringing forth flowers and fruits upon which the souls of others can live and grow. It's the thousand subtle ways that we feed each other. So that I would say that's the mission. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to be conscious of the thousand subtle ways that we serve each other's souls. The little things that we do. The little things that we do. Children are easy. Children sharing in their glee is easy. But, making in that moment where that friend makes an effort to come see you, even if it's just for a moment, of listening to that complete and total stranger's story, having a, grace under pressure. Grace under pressure. When things get crazy busy and you still treating each other kindly. That is the fruit and the flower of the soul. And that is what souls are nourished on. And that is what I commend to you and encourage for you. All right. So that's the mission today, should we choose to accept it. And it's the mission every day. When we know who we are, when we engage in those thousand subtle acts of service, that is us aligning with who we are. As godlings, as divine sparks, as, God in action, God in service. That is who we are. That is us aligning with the true purpose of life, which is to live, to experience, to go out and do. So I like to say learn too, but that's one of my things. I like to learn. All right. Where was I? So that was the mission. The other thing is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like, big or small, it does not matter. The point is to practice every day. Having a dedicated spiritual practice every day is very important, and doing this loving, kind, and compassionate thing for yourself is definitely important. It is about self-care, but it's also about joy. And because one of those subtle ways of service is sharing in a child's glee. Well, this practice of the loving, kind, and compassion on yourself is also about that. It's about joy. Sometimes it looks like eating dessert first, and sometimes it looks like taking a nap, or taking a walk, or whatever it is, or choosing to spend 8 Saturdays working with your friend out at the Renaissance Festival because you enjoy it. And she can depend on you. That's why you do it. That's why I do it. So it's, and I encourage you to do it every day because it is about creating a habit. It is about creating a first response, a default setting. It is about creating that bank of energy, of loving, kind, and compassionate. It's about consciously plugging into the inexhaustible source of loving, kind, and compassionate. Because there is an inexhaustible source of it. And we can plug into it. We're actually always plugged into it. But the idea is about being conscious of that. And, sometimes we have our tendency to put a foot on the hose. So, 1,000 subtle ways. 1,000 subtle ways. All right. So, there's that. I'm definitely tired. So anything else that I probably should be saying and I'm forgetting, I'm sure you know them. Do something to engage your mind and your body. Drink plenty of water, which I have not done, so I need to go finish my mineral water. Hang on. Bright light early in your day. Bright light early in your day. Reset those circadian rhythms. It is fallback. It's the weekend of the time change. So don't forget to set your clocks back. Although most of us don't even have clocks anymore. We all depend on our cell phones and they do it automatically. Thank God. And then, take earnest words. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time, because it is a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. It is something that we can create. And honestly, those 1,000 subtle ways is how we do it. When we are of service, we create heaven for ourselves. When we are of service, we help show people how to create their own heaven. And again, take Emma's advice. Look for the good and praise it. And trust me, you're one of the goods. You're definitely one of the goods. Okay. I guess here's where I can do the social media part. We are Creative Life Spirituals at our Creative Life Spark. I'm the Running Rev Ryan on the YouTube. It is one of the social medias that we are on. And I have one too. So, I'm very confused and tired. So, if you want to know what's going on in the center, email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact. The hot links are hot. And they will link you to several of our social medias. And I will also remind you, and part of the reason why I just need to stop and go to bed, is because I'm doing the Sunday service tomorrow. Because Jesse spent all day Friday and all day Saturday teaching a class. So I'm going to save his voice for him. I'm doing the Sunday service tomorrow. And I have a title that makes no sense. So you're going to have to tune in to find out what it is. Which is What's in an E. All right. Yes, I think I'm done. So I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, an enchanting day, a magical day, a heroes and villains day, because that's what it was today. A wonder-filled day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. All right, beloveds. Since I'm steadily losing my mind, I'm going to remind you, Reverend Daywood is usually on around 5 p.m. Hopefully he was already on. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. It's only Saturdays that I'm doing in the PMs right now. And we'll have an amazing service for you at 11 on Facebook Live, and I'll get it up on YouTube later. So, yeah, because it's mine. So, yeah. High expectations. High expectations. All right, beloveds. I'm going to go organize my notes. I will see you next time. Know that you're loved. Always.